From New York to Botswana, London to got and it's on the map. Go to Cuba, Iceland to Bermuda. The wars against love, we under attack. Scientists told us how the Mayans lived. Highways and land strips the land. This plan, aerodynamics. Now I'm chilling 20 carats like a savage, not a.
Peace. Let me get right in. Let me get right into this. Y'all ain't been here in a while. You know, I like to come in and be responsible with what I'm doing. So it's a lot of research going to what I present. Now today's, I'm going into Islam, the moon goddess menstrual cycle and its effect on the sea and admiralty laws. Okay, for me to go into this, let's see, this little guy right here. Okay, we're gonna have to go into some linguistics, right? And bear with me, y'all, because there's a lot going on with this right here. So let me go through the motions with it. Okay, so first of all, we have to understand certain concepts as it pertains to linguistics. One of them is metathesis, and the metathesis means the transposition of letters, sounds in a word. A good example of metathesis is umlaut. Umlaut is spelled U-M-L-A-U-T. Umlaut, noun, a mark used over a verb as in German or Honduran to indicate a different vowel quality, usually fronting or rounding. Now, you know, the vowel changes change the intensity, the quality or state of being tense, entry 1 or through 3. Stretched, okay, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Stretched, tight, made, taunt. Intense muscles, a feeling or showing nervousness, tension, smile, marked by strain or suspense, and a tension thriller produced with the muscles involved in a relatively tense state. Tense, translation, tense, to make tense, intransitive verb. To make tense up and miss the push. Tense, a distinction of form in a verb to express distinctions, time, or duration of the act of or state is denoted. The inflective form of a verb that expresses this distinction of time. An inflection form of a verb that expressing a time distinction, right? So we have to understand it before we can go on to the lesson. Okay, we have to understand this other concept called ablaut, a noun, a change of a verb in related words or forms, e.g. in German, strong verbs, e.g. in sing, sang, sung, right? We have to understand this concept, because what I'm about to go in is about to challenge your ideas about linguistics and how verb works. Okay, now, verb rule they gave the public in public school, right? They say A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Sometimes it's not intelligence, right? So we have to find out what is the methodology for finding out what can be exchanged with what as it pertains to vowels, right? But what is specific what is specific linguistic methodology where you exchange the vowel we exchange the Y for the I or the E. Okay, now it's asking what is the methodology from which you exchange these vowels, right? You know what I'm saying? And the answer is umlaut. Umlaut being making a mark used over a verb as in German or Honduran to indicate a different vowel quality, usually fronting or rounding. Right? So this is the methodology from which you can figure out what vowels are exchangeable, right? But when you go further research, you'll find out that all vowels are interchangeable. All vowels are interchangeable, right? Okay, the umlaut. The answer is umlaut. This is a methodology from which you use where you exchange Y for I or E. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When you study umlaut, you find out you can exchange all verbs for each other, right? We got another concept you must be familiar with is mental language, right? A formal language or set of terms used for the description or analysis of another language, right? Meta-language, the branch of linguistic or meta-linguistic, the branch of linguistic that deals with meta-language, self-referencing and language, and the philosophy of science as it applies to linguistics, right? So in order for me to go, and also you have to understand that the morphine of words, right? Over time, words, we going from the age of consonants to the age of verbs or vowels. Okay, you must understand that. So let's go on to this right here. Right here. So look, we're looking up this word more, right? A great or additional amount of or degree. Degree. You want to pay attention to this word degree in this word, right? Also, you have to consider that more. This is the etymology of this. This is the etymology of this, and it is German, Germanic, Old English, Merle. Dutch, Mer, and German, more, right? More. Look, let's look at this one first. I'll say Mir de Nord, La Mer de Nord, the North Sea, right? And we got this one, the North Sea, More del Nord, North Sea, the North Sea, More de Nord, the North Sea. This is the French to English translation, right? The North Sea, right? Showing you that connection to the sea, right? Let's do this one right here. Okay. The North Sea, right? Atlantic coast in the North Sea, right? Now we know we're referring to the admiralty people of the Northwest, so-called Africa, right? So let's go into, let's see, what else do we got here? Okay, we already looked at that more. Now, you have to understand that this more is synonymous with more, M-O-O-R, too. It's synonymous with that word, too. And they all share linguistic connection. Okay, now let's look at this. More history, family crest, crest and coat of arms. The original Gothic form of or Gothic form of the name Moor is old. It's old mencher, derived from the word mencher, which means hospitable or kindly, right? So this is another aspect. Okay, this is what I was really looking for. What does Mar mean in Islam? The name Mar, Islamic word, Mar, this is how you spell it Islamically, is the Muslim name, the Muslim woman's name, is a Muslim woman's name. The meaning of the word Mar is full moon, full moon, okay? Pay attention to that, full moon. Okay, this is another aspect of mirror, right? Also, this is the exchange of letter changing the tensity, but it still has linguistic origins of more, right? Mere, a shallow land, a shallow lake, pond, or wetland, particularly in Great Britain and other parts of West Europe. Now, remember the original Britons were Moors. The original people that were called them Britons were Moors, or dark-skinned people. I forgot to put up that definition of the definition of Moor that is one of the most profound ones that I've seen so far. But okay, let's go into this right here. Okay, the word mere is recorded in Old English as mere sea. See, there you go. There they go that word sea again, associating more mere with the sea, right? Lake, corresponding to the Old Saxon mere, mori, old, low, French, old road, French, culinary, flanconary, culinary, Mary, Dutch, more, mere, lake, pond, pond, lake, north, French, top, toponymic element, element, mirror, old, high English, Mary, Greek, German, mirror, sea, Gothic, Murray, and Old North, Mary, sea, right? North, Winganese. Hold on, y'all. We get this call right quick. But you can basically see the origins of this word more connected to the water, and it's connected to the people, right? Fishing, the maritime people, mud. So, or say it's mud, sludge, right? We're talking about the rich soil too. It's also associated with the rich soil, right? Switch, place, name, element, mirror, French, myrrh, right? Then pool, we're talking about the genetic pool. Pond, they're derived from the reconstituted Proto-Germanic Mary itself from Indo-European Mori, the same root as marsh and moor. The Indo-European root Mori gave also birth to similar word in other European languages like mir, sea, Italian mir, Spanish mar, French mer, Old Morio, thoroughly see that this is associated with the C. Okay? We thoroughly see that this is associated with the C. Right? Okay. Okay. No, it's associated with the C and it's associated with a people. Right? So.
Hello.
Okay. Now, pay attention to this definition or this meaning of mirror 2, because we have it's associated with the moon, sun, affection name, and is Arabic, right? Let's see. There we go. Again, full moon, right? Okay. There it goes again. Is Islamic name, the meaning of the moon is Islamic, right? Also, we go here. That's okay. I wanted to make the connection between the menstrual cycle and the goddesses, right? And how this this matriarch and the culture of the Moors was neither matriarch or patriarch, but a balance, a ma'at of both, but is mostly matriarch. So we were fixated, and we were fixated on the moon cycle, the cycles of the bodies, the bodies basically. So we would always associate that cycle, right, as a symbolic understanding of the culture and how we would always do things according to these cycles, right? You got the old moon goddess, which is actually the mother and the son. When you see that crescent and moon, or that star and crescent, right? But this is the old moon goddess too of that area. That's an old moon goddess named Ishra, right? Then you got Alat, which is another moon, a lunar deity or lunar goddess, right? Because we associated that moon with her menstrual. Okay, let's go how her menstrual is somewhat connected to that moon cycle and how that moon cycle affects the sea, right? So here we go. This is where that symbol comes from, the crescent of the moon. Okay, let's read this. The crescent moon and star, the crescent represents progress and the 5-pointed star, light and knowledge. The moon is the point sign of time, seasons, fast, and feast, and governs the Islamic calendar, right? So we were governing ourselves based on these cycles, right? These cycles, right? And these cycles correspond with the menstrual cycle of the woman, right? This is why we honor the Great Mother, right? Honor the Great Mother, okay? Menstrual, the monthly cycle of change in the ovaries and the lining of the uterus, endometrium, starting with the preparation of an egg for fertilization. When the full lies lips of the preparing egg is the ovary breaks. It is released. It is released for fertilization, and ovulation occurs. Right? Okay, but I want to see what this is. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think that's what I just read. So I'm trying to see how. Okay, this is what I want to get at. The menstrual cycle does not sync with the lunar cycle, according to the other analysts of over 7.4 million cycles. The lunar cycle and the average menstrual cycle are basically equal in length. The term menstrual and menses comes from the Latin Greek word meaning monthly, mensing, and the moon, right? You can see its association with the moon, right? The menstrual cycle and its association with the moon, right, does not sync with the moon cycle, according to our analysts of over 700 cycles, 7.5 million cycles. The moon cycle and the average menstrual cycle are basically equal in length, right? Okay, so there is an association there with the moon and the moon cycle and the menstrual cycle, right? Right. So let's go a little further. All those. Okay, I think we gotta go down here now. Okay. This is the old Venus, Sun, and Moon at the stilla. Crescent appears together with a star, or stars are a common feature for Sumerian iconography. The crescent usually being associated with the moon god Sin, right? We got to look up Sin too. Nana, and this is where we get that concept of Nana from, right? Omi, right? Or Nana, or Yoni, and the star with Ishtar, Inanna, Venus, 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 often placed along with the sun disk, right? So that's the mother and the sun, right? Shamash in later Bronze Age, Canaan star and crescent moon, Mater, and motifs and other found in Moab named seals, right? The Egyptians represented moon, right? So this symbol is an old ancient symbol that is associated with the Great Mother, right, and her cycle. Today, the moon crescent and the cross moon and the sun symbol is universally recognized as a symbol of Islam, and for that reason, it appears on the flag of many countries where Islam is a state religion, or which has a largely Muslim population. However, the crescent star symbol has not always been associated with Islam, right? So, because to go further back then, the religion of Islam, the established religion of Islam, because Islam is older than the established religion of Islam, right? Islam itself, right? This is another definition or understanding of that concept of the crescent moon and star, right? I got endless ones in here, crescent moon and star, but I think I need to go back down here. Okay. Islam and Abrahamic monotheistic religions taught that there is only one God, is Allah, and that Muhammad is a messenger of God. It is the world's second largest religion and over 1.9 million followers, over 24.4% of the world population, commonly known as Muslims, right? So, okay, we looked at that already. Just giving you some basic facts so we can kind of, okay, this is what I want. Okay. The moon's effect on oceans, tides. The gravitational pull of the moon and the sun makes the water in the ocean bunch, causing a continuous change between high and low tide. At new moon and full moon, the gravitational force of the sun and the moon act together and create spring tides, not to yeah, right. So this is what they're referring to in Islam, the crescent moon, the star. We're talking about this cycle of the moon, right, and its effect on the sea, the ocean, because the ocean, the sea is nothing more than a smaller portion of the ocean, right? So this moon cycle, which corresponds with the menstrual cycle, and the fact that it has the same amount of days, is connected to this moon cycle and this sun cycle, right? This is another example of what I'm talking about right here. Right? What they were talking about, around each new moon or full moon, when the sun, earth, and moon are located more or less on a line in space, the range between high and low tide is greater, right? So this is the effects of the water. It affects the water, right? It not only affects the water of the ocean, it affects the water of the woman, right? Our waters, period. We are 75% water. So that same moon cycle affects our water inside of our body, just like it affects the water of the ocean, right? So now, going further down, this is another example of that effect of the moon on the tide, right? Earth has two tidal bunges on one on the side of Earth nearest the moon, where the moon's gravity pulls hardest, and the other on the side of the Earth further from the moon, where the moon gravity pulls least. Right? Okay, and this is basically the culture, right? Now we're going into admiralty, right? Admiralty, now, right? The rank of an officer of the rank or office of a admiral, the jurisdiction of court of law over cases concerning ships or the sea. There you go, the sea and other navigable waters, maritime. There they go. How they're referring to the Moors. Maritime law is maritime law, right? And this is all dealing with how the Moors were the first ones to try to navigate the whole planet. And through that experience, we established what's referred to as maritime law, right? Okay, now let's go deeper into maritime because it's deep, y'all. Bear with me. Okay, this is the etymology of maritime, right? The etymology. But I wanted to go down to this portion of it. Okay, did I go down? Okay. We do that, so let's do this. Pay attention to this. Late Middle English or Old French, admiral, from admiral, leader. See admiral, right? I'll go a bit further down. Admiral. Right? We all talking about the law of the land, the law of the sea, right? the distinction between the law of the land and the law of the sea. A commander of a fleet or naval meaning the navel from which is cut when you come through the water of your mother, right? Or a naval officer for a high ranked, a commissioned officer of high ranking in the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard, ranking above Vice Admiral, right? So we know this is associated with high-ranking leadership, right? Okay, now let's go further. Denoting an admiral are Saracen. Okay, I didn't put the word Saracen on this lecture, but y'all have to do some research on what a Saracen commander. So admiral is a Saracen commander. If you understand what a Saracen is, that's another word for a Moor. Okay? From Old French, admiral, admiral, via medieval Latin from Arabic, admiral, commander, from admiral to commander, right? The al was from Arabic, of the U in title, e.g. Amir mirror, rulers of rulers. Later assimilated to the familiar Latinate suffix "al," right? I'm going further in this lesson. Okay. Admiralty or maritime law is the distinct body of law, both substantive and procedural, right? Governing navigation, shipping, topics associated with the field and legal reference working with include shipping, navigation, waters, commerce, seamen, towage, wharves, piers, and docks, insured, maritime liens, canal, and recreation,
or being
privacy
by monarchs and
ship hijack. It also an aspect of the maritime. The courts and Congress seek to create a uniform body of admiralty law, both nationally and internationally, in order to facilitate commerce, right? Which, that's basically the authority that the United States is under, that commercial law authority, that they are under commercial governance. The federal government derives their exclusive jurisdiction over this field from the Jurisdictory Act of 1789 and from Article 3, right? Judiciary Act of 1789, right? So the basic governing law that the United States of America is being governed under is admiralty law or maritime law, right? And it's all affected by that moon cycle, which is associated with the mother's menstrual cycle, right? Now, the courts in Congress seek to create a uniform. This is already I read all that. Okay, so the procedure. Okay, I read all that. Oh, but this is it. This is the continuation of that.
What the fuck?
It says the Judicial Act of 1787 and the Article 3(2) of the United States Constitution. Congress regulates
me while I'm
admiralty, partially through the Commerce Clause. America Admiralty law formerly applied only to America tidal water. Is not extended to any water navigable within the United States for interstate or foreign commerce. In such waters, admiralty jurisdiction includes maritime matters, not including interstate commerce, including recreational boating. Admiralty law in the United States developed from the British Admiralty courts present in most of the American colonies. These courts functioned separately from the courts of law and equity, and the Judiciary Act through Congress placed admiralty under the jurisdiction of the federal department district court. Although admiralty shares much in common with civil law, it is separate from its common law. Does not act as binding precedent in admiralty court, but in other. Right, so we seeing the power of how that cycle, that understanding of cycle, and how it affects world economies, right? This understanding of the cycle and how it affects maritime law, which governs world economies. This is what governs world economies, commercial law, right? I think that kind of ends my lecture. And I hope I was able to give you all understanding of how, okay, let's go into this right quick. A couple of things associated with that steel myrrh, right? Western Sea of the setting sun, right? Which now seems obviously the Phoenician source of the word merit. This Phoenician source of the name Mauritania or Morocco, with its steaming metal megalith of Mo Abha or Little More in Brittany and its sun coat megalith, and it's also found in several of the old mining and trade centers of the Eastern Phoenician and Brits associated with the stone circle and megalith, and mostly on the coast, more done port of Rome in Devon, and several more than done Morton and Morton Castle, Morton, Westmoreland, rich in circle and old mines. More Canby Bay and Moray and its Fritch and seat of Moray clan, right? Make that a little bit bigger for y'all, so y'all can see it for yourself, right? Is that their Maury or more being also still being associated with the waters, also being associated with the sea, navigation of the sea, right? Okay, that's about it. I'm out.